Yeah. We're rolling, baby.
That's a good shot. Okay, so what I can do is just use that. I'll get my camera out. I'll find it. Or I can just use this one right here. Put that one on there.
Yeah, dude.
Actually,
That'll work.
This will work perfect.
You could put that right on there. We could just leave that where it is.
Yep.
And then when I come over, I just pop mine on.
Yep.
And you could have yours set up there filming you whenever you want. Like filming calls and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what should we do for when we come today on this one once a week? Let's set it like narrow it so that we're not all over the place, but like pick like content that we do today, and then I'll have stuff that I record, and I have a list of shit to do talking head videos, so that'll be what I just upload, and I can even just be posting stories and stuff like that too without any editing too. Some we get edited if we want them.
Okay.
Like, you know those talking head ones? They're not that much editing, are they?
Well, they are for me because I go above and beyond with it.
Yeah.
So I'm cutting out.
Can I get an offshore editor?
You can. I mean, I can do them basic too. Like, they don't have to be fully edited.
Yeah.
I can do them basic and make them quicker.
Yeah. Whatever you think. This is where the strategy part comes in for you. Because, like, obviously, I'd always want the best looking one with the most shit, with the most, but you're like, no, for this purpose, this is the right amount of time that we have with the right amount of thing. Like, it's more important to get it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So what are you wanting to accomplish first? Like, what do you think, what type of content do you think we need to be focused on right away?
So I think the goal now is while we're working through the LOI, while we're getting the building set up, while we're doing all this, we just want to start putting out content, getting the message of like the process of people knowing what Agora is going to be, the process of doing it, and just have like documenting that, like literally these conversations so that people can see and watch and be like, okay, I heard Young Son and Brett talking about this. They said something about that 400 building. And, if we get people engaging on social media, like, where's this Agora building? Then the next week we put a little edit together with the Agora building, right? And start telling people, we got most of our shit about 2 or 3 comments about, and then eventually it's like 10 comments, 20 comments on something like, they're asking what companies are going to be at Agora. Okay, well, we don't know fully yet. Just totally transparent, documenting these conversations, documenting the process of setting it up. And I think this is literally it. Like right now we're documenting this.
You know what I think we should do?
Yeah.
Is a lot of people these days, they tend to want to go straight for short form content.
Yeah.
But remember earlier when I was talking about live streaming, how people are craving more genuine connection, more real content, like longer form, like less editing, less everything.
Yeah.
Now, because it's going to be hard to sit here and try to come up with a strategy for how we're going to document the process and then put that into a reel and post it on Instagram. But if we're just sitting here spitballing and we're talking and we put this all into one raw YouTube episode and throw that out, we focus on the bigger episodes, the long form, the less editing, just a longer cut of like this whole clip, for example, could be a video of us. Episode 1, Agora documentation starting from the ground up, zero, and then we just happen to take that long video, pull a few key moments of it, throw those into some short form reels, so that way we're not shooting for the short form reels off the bat and missing out on this whole other realm of long form actual documenting, which is what people are actually going to get invested in, because within a 15-second reel of us talking about this, they're not going to know what the heck we're talking about or what this is about or what it's actually going to entail. But if we have a 10, 15-minute, even if we do 7 to 10-minute episodes, and then we pull maybe a couple key, because another thing we could do is like highlight reels from that YouTube video. So we just take clips. They don't necessarily have to be synced with each other. Like they don't necessarily have to be in
order.
In order to make one single message. They could just be clips of all these little moments throughout our video that we make into one little thing, and then it's like all these different moments in one little short form reel that we're packing into it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, what are these guys talking about?
And then
They're
longer
like this and that, and then this and that, and then blah 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 blah, and then it's like all these different segments instead of us trying to systematically create a reel.
Yeah,
we're
like
just sitting down.
That makes editing faster too.
It makes editing faster because then all you do is you go in, you clip the key moments, and like the big episode itself doesn't even need to be edited. We could just upload just a raw video, a raw 7-minute video of us doing the beginning stages, breaking down what Agora is.
Yep.
Maybe start telling a little bit about some of the meetings that you're having and the outcomes of these meetings and some of the people that you're talking with.
Yep.
Or something like that. Then I feel like that way it'll be it, because otherwise I tend to overthink it.
Yeah.
And I'm like trying to like how can we make a 15-second reel the best it could possibly be? And instead of doing that, just focus on making a piece of content, just record stuff, and then we can kind of just pull stuff from that. We may not get, 10 reels out of one little 7-minute thing, but if it's one solid recap reel and one solid 7-minute YouTube video, and we stack those, and then we have a whole series where it's like episode 15, and then like, yo, I need to go back and watch episode 1 and 2 when all they did was throw the camera up in Brett's living room, and now they're just spitballing stuff.
100%.
So then they can be like,
way more.
Yeah.
Because then this week for us then, so this week is just going to be, I think, like you said, 10, 20-minute convos, or half an hour, whatever we end up doing that day, even an hour. Like if we sit here and talk for an hour, which we probably will, if we even schedule an hour, and just record them and end up with like a 10-minute video, a part of it, or whatever was most interesting, and just leave the rest off. We don't got to edit it, or even the long format videos could just be parts together.
Segments, yeah.
Right? And then, because the whole point here is, this is part of the strategy that I think works, because we're not a company with a ton of structure, a ton of set schedules, a ton of money and a ton of time and a ton of editors. We don't have that. And we're very early in the company right now. Like, we're setting everything up. This is literally the first meetings. So I think the value is actually people seeing how, like, by the time people usually put stuff up, they're already in the building with their team doing stuff. They don't get to see this.
Right.
They literally just put a camera in their living room. That was the first conversation. This was the second one. This was the third one. And that way we're not trying to make it more than it is.
Right.
But because we're not making it more than it is, it's more real.
That's what's actually going to be what builds our culture is not trying to overdo it.
Yeah.
Because what makes that so special to the people watching is, while they did start from the dirt when all they did was throw up a camera, because think about this, when we are in our office, we are sitting in front of the custom graffiti walls, we are bringing in big time influencers and big collaborations, and we're in the game, and people are starting to figure out who we are. There's people that can discover us and look back on us and say, wow, like they started from square one, and all they did was just start filming it. Yeah. It wasn't structured. They didn't have a lot of editing. It wasn't a lot of, and like that's what people can really get invested in, is just like the raw form of it. Yeah. Like, throw a camera up and we're talking about starting a business, and this whole thing's crazy. And the thing is people always see the final result, but like you were saying, they don't see what went into it, and nobody else is really doing that. They're just wanting to show the final result. Look at my Lambo. Look at my Porsche. Look at my mansion. But you didn't see the cardboard box I lived in at the beginning when I started.
Yeah. And then the whole thing of like what's valuable to people is like with media guys, like I come here and I'm going to start a business, and I'm like, hey, here's all the things I'm doing. Here's why this is different. Here's why it's valuable. Until this is set up and running, not taking on a bunch of salaries, not paying a bunch of shit. So you as a media guy have found this, been shown this, what it could be and why it would be valuable. You're like, okay, I want to do that. And so you're investing your time, and people don't even know this normally, but now this is your time. When they say do a side hustle until your side hustle pays for your salary, this is it. You're starting the side hustle evenings. It's 6:30 on a Tuesday. not getting paid, recording this stuff, going to post it until 2-3 months goes by when we have 40 episodes out, 30 episodes of just raw but easy to produce. Didn't take too much time of yours, didn't take too much time of mine, but it showed the actual process of you committing.
Yeah.
And you showing, like, I did this even after I had paid jobs, even after I was already a media guy that was making money. I went and did this on the side, and then we got into Agora, 40 episodes in. Now they're starting to see, like, okay, that's how he got the job at Agora. That's now he's building his own business in there.
Yeah.
But this part here, I think this is exactly it. So
Yeah.
it's kind of foreign even for us. Like, if anyone's watching this when we put it up, it's weird to think that literally this conversation is what needs to be the content to go out.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, nobody's going to give a shit about this.
It's wild.
Yeah. But in the reality, this is the stuff that nobody knows where to get information on how to do. What conversation did they have?
Right.
How did Brett approach him? Which what we'll do next week. We'll say, how did we start?
Yeah.
That'll be the talk next week for our episode 2.
Right.
We'll just start from the scratch because we've done some stuff that we didn't record.
Yeah. And here's another thing is everybody had these moments in the beginning days, but it's not documented, right? And when we're documenting that stuff, it's like I had it right there on the tip of my tongue, dude.
It's because you rubbed your mustache.
It was, huh?
So distracting. That's how the girls feel, like they don't even know what to do.
Is that what it is?
They lose their train of thought. They're like, what is young son talking
What is he doing, bro? Oh, man. Oh.
It's something about before because you and I met, we went to Jason's, we did all the stuff.
Yeah. I remembered. The thing about us documenting the beginning journey and stages of this is like not a lot of people are doing it, but it also shit. You
touched it again.
I did, huh? Bro, that's 2 in a row now. I need to stop doing that. It'll come back.
I think it's with where you're going. I think is the part where we meet and we start chatting. Then you have to have something to talk about that's actually of value. So we meet through Jace. You're doing your thing. You can't be here. Like, you're not going to be here just for no reason. Like, I'm not coming to record because I'm wasting my time. But you met a guy that then had a thing that showed some structure about how to build a business. You do media that can help me. I do structure that can help you. That has to start off. Everyone wishes it could start like, here's your 10 grand a month.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't work like that most of the time.
Yeah.
Like for entrepreneurs or people starting a business or media people, it usually starts off where you meet someone like this and you have to be paying attention when your intuition tells you that there's an opportunity here. You have to figure out how to wait to provide value and commit to that without expecting anything in return. Right? And as soon as you do that, you start getting into a different conversation with people where they're like, if you figure out how to provide value to them, don't ask them. But as soon as you do that, then they're, okay, well, I like people that have that perspective that want to help. How can I help you? And then you start to actually do it without pay for a little while or till each one of you gets in there and then all of a sudden starts getting paid. That's where people, I think, they might hear it, like, you got to do that, but like, show me how that actually played out.
Right. Okay, that's what I was going to say. So in the process of us documenting the journey all the way is when people find out the secrets or the things, they tend to be kind of like scarce about it. Like they hold on to it tight, right?
Yeah.
But for us, since we have such an abundant mindset, and this is what I was trying to remember, we have such an abundant mindset that we have such a strong belief that this is going to work out that we can document this process, and the whole way along, it's like we're not trying to be scarce or greedy about the conversations we're having, the things we're learning, the things we're talking about, like sharing our ideas with these crazy big businesses and all these different things. But we're being genuine and we're documenting it as we go, and we're not afraid to. We're not in a scarcity mindset like we're scared of somebody taking our idea or like something like that. And I think that's another piece that shows more genuine in the content. So when people are investing in our journey and following us and watching what we do and what you do with your business and everything, they'll be like, wow, these guys they didn't keep anything from us. They weren't like being stingy. They weren't being like like only they can have this or only they can do it. They were open and generous, and they were willing to share as they were doing it, how they're actually
100%.
doing it, which is what nobody is doing
So that's how you're
nowadays.
right there. You're providing value. You're providing
Exactly.
value to everybody watching, right? And the other thing too that even I think for everybody, but me too, even to some degree, I don't really have a problem on camera, but really not caring what people think.
Yeah.
Like, I had a big business before, and I'm starting a new one. Some guys might not want to get on camera right now because I don't want anyone to see that I don't have another big business already. When I have Agora all built out, then I want people to see it.
Right.
No. Because I don't really give a shit about the money this time. I care about truly like being in service and helping people build their businesses and be successful in their life. And so doing this now for me, it's like, it's okay if people see that we're not okay. It's amazing that people see that we're doing this in a living room before we get the building,
Right.
before we go to the thing. Because then when they see it happen, it's not just like this disconnected thing where that's a big building. It's
Right.
expensive. We haven't explained how we're going to get that yet. We're regular guys doing this again.
Exactly. Do you ever see that picture of Jeff Bezos in his office and there's a cardboard thing
Yeah.
on the wall that says Amazon?
Yeah,
That's the culture of Agora that we're doing.
100%.
That, because like that's what makes sense. That's what like comes to my mind when you talk about doing this, documenting the journey.
Yeah.
Because like that one guy I met on that Cabo retreat I told you about, he's built that big massive clothing business.
Yeah.
He kind of broke it down in a way where he basically said like, no matter how we felt that day, no matter what we were going through, no matter how hard it freaking got, we still turned the camera on
documented it.
and we still documented the highs, the lows. And I feel like that's going to be the secret, is anybody can throw on a camera in their living room when they're feeling good up to it. But we're like, what do we do on the bad days when we're like, fuck, I really don't want to do this, or like this sucks, or like, why are we doing this in the first place? Or we're going through a hard time. Like, bro, I had a freaking terrible day today, bro.
Really?
Like, I'll be honest. Like, yeah.
Why?
Like, it was just and I can talk to you after, but
No. Why?
just some family stuff, dude. And it's with my mom, of all people, which is really tough because my mom's like my closest person to me and stuff.
Oh, like
and
real stuff. Not
real
just like,
stuff.
Oh shit.
Yeah, bro. And like, for example, like I almost like a couple hours before I came over, like I was just like not in the shape to be coming over here. And I almost canceled and I was almost going to bail on you and my homie Austin. And I was like, no, get in the truck. Doesn't matter how hard of a day you've had, show up to this meeting like you said you were going to do, and turn on the camera and do what you said you were going to do, bro. And that's Cause bro, like I'll be real, like dude, I did not want to freaking come today because it was just like some real life stuff hit me, bro, and it was so heavy. And like that's what's gonna build the culture. I feel like that's what's gonna get people invested and feel like they're a part of it, because they're watching this like, damn, like what's my excuse? Like he had a terrible day, but he still showed up and he still did what he said he was gonna do. And
Bro, good on you. That's amazing, because this is important, right? That we got going today and didn't miss today, because then it's next week and then it's a one weekend. There's always something,
right.
and unless it's like there are times where it's like I'm gone. I got to go to here.
Yeah.
That's an emergency. But a lot of times we will tell ourselves this is a day that's not worth doing a thing.
Right.
Which I do all the time. Like for the gym and something, I'll be like, oh, even today, I'm like, I flew, I got here, I had 2 consulting meetings that ran over by 2 hours. I got to do my emails, I got to do all this shit today, and then I have to get on a call in 15 minutes, and I'm like, I won't have time to work out today, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's not okay. I'm going to go work out. But that's like a minor example of the things you got to do. Right. Everyone always talks about like just keep doing that consistency, and showing up has to happen. And as long as you do the consistency and you're real with all this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another big one, bro, is one of my buddies down in Florida. He wanted me to come out and help him film this boat race for 10 days in Key West, and they pay for my hotel and food, and then they pay me $2,000, which is not a lot for what I'd be doing, because I'd be working 10 days straight, long
crazy.
hours.
That's crazy.
But I was doing it for a lot more than the money. It was going to be fun, and I'm doing it with my buddies, so we were going to do our own little behind-the-scenes vlog, document the whole thing, film our own personal content, have a great time. We're hanging in Key West, Florida, beautiful weather, watching the boat races. But at the same time, at home, I've got Chase's podcast I'm editing. I got this deal that I'm still in the process of working out with Jace. I've got all of these meetings that I'm committing to with you once a week. Yeah. And then I was sitting there today like, well, I can go to do this Florida thing, which it will be fun, but I may have to just sacrifice that $2,000 because the things that I have going on at home are a lot more important. Plus I need to find a dog sitter and all that stuff. And it sucked to make that decision and cancel on my buddy and tell him I can't come because I have all this other stuff that I'm doing. And that was like the lesson that tied into that is like, I'm glad I did that. And it reminded me of how I showed up today when I didn't want to, and how I had to cancel on my buddy because that would have been 1 or 2 days, 1 or 2 Tuesdays that we were supposed to film together that I'd be missing. And then who knows the opportunities that come up with Jace while I'm out of town. Yeah. You know,
see, and this is the thing too, working with people that share that same perspective or that mantra, because now that makes me want to show up. If I got something else going on too, I'll be like, no, I gotta be there. I gotta be back to do that because other people are committed to this.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm committed, then you're committed. And if you're committed, then Austin's committed. Yeah, Austin's committed, then the next guy's committed.
Exactly.
But if no one's committed and that's your culture, then everybody kind of falls off.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, you have no accountability. And it's like...
Good on you, bro. This is wicked. I actually like this.
Thanks,
How do you feel about showing up now?
Dude, I feel good. I'm glad I did it. And, you know, today sucked and it was tough, but, you know, I'm glad I showed up on the day that I didn't want to because it made me feel good about myself.
Hell yeah.
I didn't sit there and feel a bunch of guilt and shame.
Yeah.
Why I didn't do it when I knew I should have.
This already, the whole Gore thing, this is what I like doing. Having young guys like you come and like, they're learning things right now. They're the fundamental things to keep building, and they're teaching me while I'm here providing the structure to do this. I'm like, okay, they're inspiring me. They're teaching me. That is what Agora will be all about. Imagine that times 50 people.
Dude, I'm telling you, bro, when people really figure out what it is, dude, they're going to be competing to be a part of it because it's real. It's real. It's in a world that's so fake with everything. That's social media and all this stuff. It's like people want real, dude.
Yeah.
And there's very few real people left, but I feel like the real people who are left are starting to come together and spread the realness.
Yeah.
Which I feel, bro. Right?
I love it. That's it. Okay, dope. Well, let's make this our first video. So let's post this. This is episode 1. And then next week we know what we're doing. Episode 2, we're going to go back and just talk about the start of it that we didn't film, how we met, what we're doing. And then episode 3, we're just going to show up and start talking about what we got to do that week.
All right. Well, then we're gonna need a Brett Chell or a Agora YouTube channel then to post this on.
I got it set up.
Agora?
Yep.
All right. Well, this is episode 1, folks. So thanks for joining.
Sick.
We'll see y'all next week.
Next week.
Peace.
Dude, I'm excited. I'm excited to get the streaming set up too.